Okay, 5.2, writing linear equations given the slope and a point. Today, out of this equation, the slope-intercept form, function form, it's an equation like we always talk about. Today, you're going to be given the slope. Which letter here is the slope? Okay, so you're going to be given the m. You're going to be given the y and the x. So then you have to solve for the b. And the b is the what?
Y-intercept.
The y-intercept. So that's what we're going to be doing on our homework today. On this problem, they tell us to write an equation of the line that passes through the point at -3 and 5, and it has the slope of 2. Well, let's label all of those numbers they just gave us. What would we label the -3? X, because it's an ordered pair, so -3 is the x. What's the 5? That's our y. What's the positive 2? So what letter? M. Right? So what we need to find now, and let me look at your notes. Write this off to the side, you have more room, and then you'll know exactly what it'll look like on your homework. So everybody starts out with y equals mx plus b. Then you substitute the numbers in that they give us. What is my y? What did you just tell me?
5.
The 5. So 5 equals, what's my m? The 2. 2 times, what's my x?
-3.
The -3. And we do not have the b. That's what we need to solve for. That is the variable that we need to solve for, that y-intercept the b. All right, orders of operations here, what would I do first? Multiply what?
2 and 3.
Yeah, what is 2 times the -3?
6.
So I have a -6. What else left here?
5. Oh wait.
On this side?
Plus 2.
Yep. Equals what's left over here?
5.
Bring our 5 down. Now what do I do to both sides?
Add 6.
Yes, I add 6. Bring this over, add 6. This cancels out. I have a b equals what? 11. That's part of your answer, so circle it. Now you take that. We have that y-intercept now, which is at the positive 11, and now we write our slope-intercept form. Y equals, what's our slope?
2.
Yep, they told us our slope is a 2. Y equals 2x, then what?
Plus 11.
Plus 11. That's the second answer. So you need two answers. You need to solve for b, your y-intercept, so we can put it at the end of our equations. And they told us the slope, which was 2. So then you write it in slope-intercept form. Y equals 2x plus 11.
Why wouldn't you
Okay? That's a great question. We could put, that's how you would check it. I'm not going to make you check it on your worksheet, but look it, we have the x and the y, don't we? What if we were to solve that? If we solve that, it's an equation, so both sides are going to be what? The same, or equal to each other. What was the y? They told us the y was 5. 5 equals 2 times, what was our x? Our x was a -3 plus 11. Does that work? Does 5 equal, what's 2 times a -3?
-6.
A -6. What's -6 plus 11? Does 5 equal 5?
Yeah.
We rock. That means this is the equation that would be on the graph. If it went through a -3 and 5 on the graph, it had a slope of 2. This is the equation that we would write at the top of the graph. Y equals 2x plus 11. Alright, now we did parallel and perpendicular slopes in chapter 5. We don't have to worry about perpendicular today, we're only going to worry about parallel. Now on these questions, they just don't come out and say, your slope is 2, or your slope is 4. They tell you that if I have a graph and this is the equation, say it's at the -3 down here, and it has a slope of a -2 and a -1/2. So you run 2, up 1, run 2, up 1, left 2, down 1, left 2, down 1. All right, so say that's this is the line they're giving us right here. They want us to make a line that's parallel to that, but goes through 2 and 1. Well, 2 and 1 is going to be up here, right? I want a line that's going to run parallel, so it's going to have to run like this. I want the equation. What will it be? Well, we do exactly what we learned on the last problem. First of all, we start out with y equals mx plus b. What's my y? Okay, because they give us the ordered pair, they want it to go through 2 and 1. Here's my x, here's my y. So what's my y? My y is my 1. So 1 equals, what's my slope? Well, my slope has to be parallel to this one, so where's my slope? I have to pick my m out of here. What is my slope out of here? A -1/2. Because we want it to be parallel, so it has to have the identical slope. Now, we don't do perpendicular, but say by chance I said I want one to run perpendicular. I wouldn't use the -1/2, then I'd have to use a positive 2/1 or just 2, okay? But we don't have to do perpendicular today. We're just doing parallel. So we just pick this. All I need out of this equation then is that -1/2. I don't need the rest of that. I don't need that -3 in anything. I just need to find my slope out of there. So my slope was what again? -1/2 times, what's my x? My x was over here, the 2 plus b. Now let's solve. 1 equals, oh, what's a negative times a positive? A -1/2 times, those are easy, 2/1. What's it? They cancel out. I get 1/1, which equals 1. So a -1, bring down your plus b. Now what do I do to both sides? Plus 1 to both sides. 2 equals b. There's the first part. What's my second part? Y equals, what's my slope? We solve for the y-intercept. We got the b. We know it's going to be plus 2 at the end here. But what's my slope? What goes with x?
-1/2.
What was our slope?
-1/2.
-1/2. We used it up here, so we have a -1/2x plus 2. There's my second part of my answer. So that is what this one would be. Y equals a -1/2x plus 2. This one was y equals a -1/2x. What was that one? We crossed it out up here. We didn't need it. Minus 3. Okay, so we just made the equation for that line. You need to graph those. Okay, go to your next page. You see the graph? Check it and graph yours. See if they are parallel to each other. Did we do it right? After you get them both graphed, if you did them correctly, they should look like that. All right, let's practice. These were like the first example we had. So what I want you to do, start out with each one with what? Each one you have to start out with what? Yes, thank you. Nice job. Y equals mx plus b. substitute your numbers in, find what b equals, and then write your slope-intercept form underneath it as well for each one. Alright, so after you get all your work, it should match this. And we talked about down here, make sure, now when this one equals a 0, remember you do not need to put plus 0 here. You do not want that. Because you know that if it's not there, it goes through the what?
Origin.
This one would go through the origin. Here, we have b equals a -7, so y equals -3x minus 7. Here, now she did hers all in fractions, which is awesome. For those of you that did them in decimals, just again, make sure that you convert it into fractions down here in case you ever have to graph it. b equals 1 1/2. Some of you might have 1.5, so you just convert it. Y equals 1/2 x plus 1 1/2. All right, first thing I want you to do, now we're doing the same ones here, it's the parallel line. We're not going to have to graph these, but I want you to find the line that would be parallel. But before you do this, let's label everything. It just makes life easier. So we have our ordered pair here, which is which? Right. Here's my x, here's my y. Where's my m? Where's my slope?
Next to the X.
Okay, next to the x, so you're saying it is the, so circle that, we know that is our slope. That way we don't get confused and we have to keep looking back up there to see which is which. Let's go right over here. Here's our ordered pair. Label them, my x and my y. What is my slope? What's my m that I'm going to need to do for a parallel line? I use exactly what they have. So this is my m, so label it. Do I need to do anything with this -3? Nope, it's just extra information right now. Unless they wanted us to graph it, then I'd have to use it later. But in y equals mx plus b right now, we don't need to use that -3. We only need to use our m, our x, and our y. All right, everybody agree with these? We solve for this. We get b equals 16, therefore y equals 5x plus 16. Over here, now she did this, when they did this, they left it as decimals, that's fine. So they ended up with b equals a -4.75, but then we want to always convert it to fractions in case we ever have to graph it. So y equals a -3/4 x minus 4 3/4. Nice job.